and welcome to my dark coloring channel. This video is going to be part of 4 of a series of tutorials on the techniques I use to color a flower. First, remember, if you like these type of tutorials, to please give it a thumbs up so that I know what kind of videos to bring you guys in the future. If you would like to see more dark coloring tutorials like this one, please subscribe to my channel. Subscribing really helps in supporting my channel and getting it in front of as many dark coloring YouTubers as possible. Also, don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you will be notified whenever I upload more dark coloring videos. In the description box of this video is where I will link all the supplies used in this tutorial. That is also where you can find a link to my Facebook group if you would like to join us over there, where we have color alongs, live coloring chats, and member giveaways. You can also find a link to my Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter if you want to follow me on any of those. Now let's have some fun and get into this tutorial. So I started this series because I know a lot of beginners struggle with how to go about tackling flowers on a coloring page. I wanted to give some simple techniques I use and make coloring flowers less scary and intimidating for beginner colorists. These tutorials are meant to be short and sweet but informative. So let's take a look at our flower. We'll be working in The World of Flowers by Johanna Basford. We'll be working on our flower page, and I picked this flower to do. And the reason I picked this flower is because it's kind of small, and when you look at it, it's like, what can I do to jazz this flower up and not have it just a small boring flower? Well, the first thing that I thought that you can do with this flower, since it's so small, and to get it to be bright and popping off the page, the first thing you want to do is kind of layer your colors. And so I've chose to use my Brute Veneer pencils, which are my oil pencils, and with oil pencils you mostly layer. And the Brute Veneer pencils don't have names on them. They look like this, and they actually have Chinese words on them. I've used them before, so I'll just say the number of the pencil. They do have numbers on them, so I'll let you know the numbers that I use. But what I'm going to do with this flower, because it's so tiny, is that I'm just going to layer a lot of colors, not too many. I picked like 1, 2, 3, 4. I picked 5 colors, and one that I pulled from my Black Widow set, my Monarch set, my Black Widow, and I might use this one. I'm not sure if I'm going to use this one, but this was the lightest pink that I found. So if you have a light pink in any of your sets, just pull out your light pink and use that. But this is number 101 from the Monarch set in the Black Widow, and it's called light pink. So I pulled that from my Black Widow set. So I'll also be including that in my picture. So I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see the picture closer. So I'm zoomed in, and we're focusing on this little one here, and I'm just going to zoom in a little more just so you guys can see a little closer. There. So I think we're in good without messing up the picture. And like I said before, I'm just going to do a lot of layering here. And when I say a lot of layering, that's just one color on top of the other instead of blending. It's still blending, but it's mostly called layering. Instead of blending one into the other, I'm going to layer one on top of another. That's basically what layering means. And it's just another technique to blend your pencils together. So I'm going to start out with my hold on one second. So I'm going to start out with my Brute Veneer pencil, and I'm going to use 110. And I'm just going to start inside of this circle here. And inside of this circle, I'm just going to give it one layer of color. And I'm going to do that to all 3 of the flowers. And so I'm just going in basically with light pressure. I'm not going in heavy. I'm just giving it a light layer. And because these pencils are also oil pencils, I know that my Black Widow pencil will work great with them because it's also an oil pencil. So when you're mixing your pencils with other pencils from a different set, you want to kind of make sure that they play well together. And that's one way you can see, you will know if they play well together. But just because they're both oil does not mean that they will play well together, but it's a better chance that they will play well together. Some oils does play well with wax pencils, so you can mix some oils and wax. So the best way to know how to do that is by just testing on a scrap sheet of paper to see if your pencils play well together. And you'll notice if they play well together, if they seem like they're blending okay together or not. If they're not really blending together and they look patchy, they're not working together. They're not working well together. So I'm just going to go ahead and lay this on all 3 of these. And so I won't be saying much while I do that. And another way that you can make small flowers, because it's so small, there's not much you can do to it. You want to use some embellishments on your flowers, and I will do that at the end. Usually I'll add some white gel pen to it, and it just gives it a bit another, look to it. Make it look like it's sparkling and it's, helping it pop off the page. So you want to add some of that to your smaller flowers, or some glittery gel pens also helps to, make your smaller flowers stand out. And so now I have that first layer down. And I'm hoping you guys can see that. And so now what you want to do is, I'm sorry, I'm trying to make sure my focus is good on the camera. There, that looks better. So now after you lay that first layer down, it's just a light layer that I laid down. I will go in later and put in a second layer. I'm going to go to my next color. And my next color is going to be 1016. It's the Brute Veneer. And I'm going to go in the same area here, but I'm going to bring it out a little around the edges, outside of the edges of the flower. So I'm just adding some more layers to this. And remember I said we're just going to layer, because it's such a small flower. That's kind of how you have to do it. And I'm just going to add some more color to this, another layer. And I'm doing that first. And so you want to kind of go light pressure. You don't want to eat up all your tooth of your paper on just well, not light pressure, I would say medium pressure, because your first layer was light pressure. Your second layer is going to have to be a little bit harder because you already put a layer down. So medium pressure. Not too hard. Don't press too hard because you want to still have some more tooth left. Okay, so now I did that one. So I'm just going to move on to the next one. And I like the brood veneers because you don't have to sharpen them much. They kind of keep their point for a long time, which is really good. Like the polychromos. These would be a substitute for polychromos, I think. They're kind of like them. The thing about them is I like the colors that's in them. They have some amazing colors in them. Different colors than the polys. I mean, the polys have great colors too, but if you don't want to spend polychromo money, these, I would consider these instead of polychromos. And these were like $20. And I think there's 100 in the set. 120 it might be. For like $25. Not bad. So I'm just adding that second layer. Like I said I would. And I'm just darkening up the colors, basically. And so now I'm just going to go to the outside of this a little bit. And I'm going to go around. And I'm going to do a light layer of that. Just around the edge. Actually, you know what? No, I'm not going to do that. Change my mind. What I'm going to do first is take my light pink from my Monarch set 101, and I'm just going to put light pink in here first, and I'm going to put it all on all the petals, just the outside petals. And the reason I stopped myself from doing that other one is because I wanted to go light first and get this light pink in there first. So hope I didn't confuse anyone. But I want this light pink to be on the tip of the flowers and on the petal part. So I know it looks like it's not there, but it is there. It's just very light, and that's exactly how I want it. And I like this pink because it's a very soft pink. And I was looking for a very soft pink in the brood veneers, and I couldn't find one. They have a soft pink, but not this soft. So I wanted a softer soft pink for the outside. And you'll see why when we finish, why I wanted the soft pink. But I'm going to put this on all the petals. The outside petals. It's like a blush pink. That's what it reminds me of. So now I'm going to do the last one. And so we're not really blending. We're just basically going to layer every color. So I wanted this to go underneath that color that I stopped putting down first. That's why I stopped doing it, because I wanted to layer. So when you're doing your oil pencils, you basically want to layer instead of blend. And a lot of pencils are oil based pencils. So you want to learn how to use your oil base. So now we have the light layer of that Black Widow down. And I'm just going to pick up the last one that we had before, which was the 016 Brute Veneer. And I'm going to lay a little outside of each, right around, right outside of each little petal. Not just right on the edge, not all the way up. And you just want to put it kind of on the edge, because you want the edge to be darker than. And I'm just going partial up, not all the way to the tip. I'm not going all the way to the tip because I don't want it. I want the tip to stay very light pink. The blush pink is what I'm going to call it. So I'm just putting this around the edges. And I'm just going medium pressure because I have a second layer, so I have to go medium pressure to get that color in there. And so now you see that this is more darker around the edges. So I'm just going around the edges of each one. And I'm only bringing it out a little bit. You want to blend it out a little bit, just a little. Because we're going to go with another color and bring that out a little further than this one. But we're going to layer that other color too. So that's going to be a third layer. That's why we're making sure we're not using all of our tooth of our paper. And this paper can take a couple of layers. It's just that the Brute Veneers are actually kind of hard to layer. I think for a beginner there is. If you're you know, experienced at layering, it won't be as hard for you, but for a beginner it would be, because they're not artist grade pencils, so they're not as easy to work with. Polychromos would be much easier, but then you will have to spend more money to work with, so it just takes a little more patience basically, and a little more time. That's it. So I have that color on the outside of all of those. And now I'm going to go to another color. And the other color that I'm going to go to is 111 in my Brute Veneers. And I'm just going to take this color out a little further. So I'm going to start right on the edge and take it out a little further than what we did, but we're going to save the edge. So you don't want to take it all the way to the tip. You want to save the tip and make sure you don't touch that tip, because that tip is going to stay that blush pink basically. So you're just layering this color on top of the other color and taking it out more. That's it. And you're going to do that to each petal. And I'm just taking it out a little further. Not all the way, but just a little further. And you just want to go small circles and blend it in to that other color. And I'm doing the same thing with this one. So I want that pink to be very soft and blend it in to the other color. So this pink is almost like a, I want to say maybe a bubblegum pink almost. I'm taking it out a little further, but I'm not going all the way to the edge. So when you do small flowers, you just have to be patient with them. Because if you just go ahead and color it in, it won't, you'll see it just looks better when you're patient. You're going in small circles and you're bringing it out to the edge. You'll be able to see the more detail in it. Okay, so I think I've done every petal there. So now I'm going to go to the next ones and do the same thing to those. And I'm taking my time, even though I'm on camera, I'm still taking my time. Because I'm not going to speed this up because this is such a small flower that I want you guys to see my technique and how I'm going in very small circles and how I'm not going all the way to the edge. You want to leave some of that pink on that edge. And remember when I said about using the white of your paper, we are also using the white of our paper to help make this flower pop some. So we put that light layer on all the way to the tip, but that light layer was so light that it looks like it's not there almost. It's just very soft. And so this one is kind of hiding, and I'm not going to take it that far up because it's really hiding behind the other one. So you wouldn't really see the white edge on this one, except over here you would, and over in the corners you would. Now I'm going to do the last one. And I'm taking small circles and I'm partially going up, but not all the way to the end. And you just want to make sure you blend it in. And you'll see what I'm saying. When you rush, you'll see the difference in your flowers, in your coloring, period. When you rush, you'll see the difference when you're going slow, and when you're rushing, you'll see the difference in how it looks. And it looks much better when you don't rush. I know some people are very impatient and want to hurry up, but take your time. Okay, so now that I have that pink on there and it's looking really nice, I'm going to go to another color, which is Brute Veneer 104, and it's like a darkish purple color, a burgundy purple kind of color. And I'm just going to go around the edge. At first I'm going to sharpen my pencil. Okay, so I sharpened my pencil. I'm just going to go around the edge of this flower where the little wavy part is in the inside of the edge and darken it up with this color, because I want that inside to be darker. That's why I'm doing that. And I'm just layering this color on top of that color all the way around the edge of this inside of the round part. And you're just going in small circles. Small circles is your key. That's what helps you blend the color into the other color. And you got to go medium pressure because you already have a layer down. And you might have to go over it, you know, 1 or 2 times. but stay inside of that circle. And this is just going to help it stand out some. You don't want to do it too hard, and you want to go in circles so that it blends in with the other color. Now I'm going to go to the next one. And I'm just going in small circles around the inside of that. And this is just another way to help the flower stand out because it's so small. First thing I thought was, what can I do to make this flower pop? And I thought layering is the key to this flower. So I did that one on that one. So now I'm going to go small circles on this one. And I'm just going in the inside of there. And you just want to take your time until you get around the circle. Don't rush it. And go over it one more time. There. Now it looks like it's popping in the middle. You see how I did that? So now what I'm going to do is go to my green area, and I'm going to use 2 pencils for that. I'm going to use I got it upside down. 078. It's a dark green, and then a little lighter green than that one, which is 116. And so I'm going to use these 2. And so I'm going to start out with the light green, and I'm just going to put a little light center in the middle of here, and I'm just going to take it up. And I want that light green to be right there in the middle and a little bit on the end here. And so now I'm going to take the other green, and I'm just going to put the other green everywhere else. And it's not much stem here, but it's always better if you use more than one green on your leaves and stems, because it just helps it pop when you do that. And now you're blending it into that yellow part in the middle. Let me zoom in a little more. I want to see if you guys can actually see that. There. And so I'm just going down the stem. And I'm taking it to the bottom, and I'm blending it into the bottom. I broke my pencil. I guess I had too sharp of an end. And so I'm taking it around the edges, and it's very small, so you need a sharp lead for this. I'm taking it around the edges. And so I'm going to go get that light green again, and I'm going to put it at the very bottom of these little leaves. So it's going to go right here in the crevice, right at the bottom, not the whole leaf, just at the bottom. And now that I have it just at the bottom, I'm going to take the darker green and take it up into the lighter green. And we're going to do that on all of them. You want to make sure you have that, you don't cover that light green. You just take it to the light green. You don't want to cover it. You want that light green to stand out some. And so now we're going to do something to these flowers down here. And we're going to put a little bit of light green down here. Right at the tip of the flower. So I'm just going to put the light green in there. And I'm going to put it right where those dots are, kind of. Right at the tip. You want it right on the corners. So this will make it look like it's not, the flowers haven't grown all the way. They're not ripe all the way. They're just baby flowers. So we want to kind of show that they're baby flowers. I'm just making sure my light green is in this little part. So if you need to go over that, go ahead and go over that. Now I'm going to take my pink. And I'm going to take my 111 Brute Veneer pink. And I'm just going to color the top down into that light green. And you're going to do that to all three. And then I'm going to take my other pink, which is 1016. It's a little darker. And I'm going to darken it up just a little bit at the top. Not too much. Just a little bit, because it would be a little darker at the top if it was a real flower. There. And now I'm going to go back to my really light blush pink, which was from my Black Widow set, MEN101. And I'm just going to go over the tip of this again and make sure that's blended. And I'm just blending this in kind of. And you can blend with the lighter color. Remember, I have taught you guys that in the blending tutorial, how you can blend with the lighter color. So I'm just making sure this is blended and my line is not thick, where it looks like it's just stopping. Okay, and now that I've done that, I'm going to take my blender pencil, and this is just my blender pencil, and I'm going to blend the middle of this because I want it to look a little more it's not blended well. So I'm just going to blend the middle of each one of them. Now that I've blended the middle, I can blend the outside. So you don't want to blend together because you don't want to blend those colors into each other. You want to blend it separately. And I'm blending the outside, and I'm making sure I'm not really going to the tip, because I'm leaving the tips that really light pink. So I don't want to get that color into the tips. And now I'm just going to blend the bottom. The leaves. And then I'll blend the flower. You want to go from pink to green. You don't want to go from green to pink. Now, after you blend, sometimes you need to re-darken your colors. So I'm going to go back to my darkest color, which is 104, and just make sure that I still have a dark popping outside here. And so I'm just going to darken it a little more. So sometimes after you blend, you have to re-darken your colors again. So remember that tip, to bring your colors back to life again after you blend it. Sometimes you have to go over it. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm just going over that little area. And I'm also going to go over the light green part down here on the bottom. And up in the leaves. And right there on the stem. So now that we have everything done, we're just going to put some embellishments on it. So I think it's looking really good. And I'm just going to add some white gel pen to it. But first I'm going to take my gold. This is my Pentel dual metallic pencil, and it's the K10, the K110. And I'm just going to put that gold right in the middle of here. And it's sparkly. And it looks really pretty on that. So now I'm going to take my Uniball white gel pen, Signal Uniball, and I'm going to dab some white pen on the flower, and I'm just going to dab a little bit. And so I'm going to zoom out just a little bit so you can see me do this, because the camera is a little too close. Okay, so I'm zoomed out a little bit, and I'm just going to take this and put it on the petals. Well, first it looks like I need to start it up on a scrap sheet of paper, so I'll do that. There. Sometimes your pen doesn't want to start. And I'll just take it and put a couple dots anywhere on the little leaves. And this just gives it some sparkle. So it doesn't matter where you put the dots. And I'm just putting them on all of the petals. You want to make sure you lift up and not do a line, because you want dots, not lines. So see how I have some dots there, and now it looks like there's a sparkle to it. There. And so when it dry, it'll look like there's like a sparkle to it. And I'm going to put 2 little dots at the bottom of here. And now we have our flower. And this is an example of how you make a very small flower pop, because it's not much room on the page to make it pop, but we made it pop. We brought it out, and I'm just going to zoom in a little more so you can see it. See how it's popping off the page now? That's how you want your flower to do. So thank you for joining me, and please don't forget to subscribe, hit your notification bell, and give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Also, if you would like to join my Facebook group, there's a link in the description for that, and I also have a link in the description to follow my Instagram and TikTok. Thank you again for joining me. Have a colorful day. Bye.